Hey there, I'm Todd Watley, certified elder law attorney with an office in Bentonville, Arkansas, and this is my new YouTube channel. I want to thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to do this hopefully one show every week and just talk about different topics that come up in the office, things that I think people need to know, and would love to answer questions. So, first and foremost, please subscribe, please like, and then if you have questions or comments, put them down below in the comments, and someone somewhere will see those, and I will do my best to address those. So, I think one of the most common things that people don't understand is estate planning. They think, oh, I'm not rich, I don't have an estate, and so therefore I don't need to do estate planning. And nothing further could be from the truth. Okay. So I want to go through that today. So I don't want to spend a lot of time. Hopefully, this will be quick, and I'm going to breeze by things. I'm not going to go into any depth because I could do a whole video and will do a whole video on each of these topics. Okay. But today's just to introduce to you what this is. Okay. So estate planning 101, very basic, very quick. Okay. So, what is estate planning? People, sometimes just simply don't understand this. It is the process of, three things basically. Number one, you want to organize your assets. Probably this is the first time that you really sit down and go through everything that you own, look at it, figure it out, and then figure out what do we want to do with this. And one of the financial advisors in our office, and one thing you should be thinking about is once you look at these assets, what's the purpose of that asset? Everything that you have, every investment, every CD, your house, your car, obviously, they need to have a purpose. And if we need to help you figure out that purpose to say, what is this money for? We would love to help you do that. So, number two, stuff just doesn't happen. Estate planning, this stuff being taken care of and going where you want it to go, doesn't just happen. You have to have legal documents in place to do it. Or if you don't, there are legal things out there in state law that will make sure your things go, but it's typically not what you want to do. And it is much more expensive and much more time consuming than doing it this way. Okay. And it is essentially the transfer of your property. You need to do something with your property. Your stuff's got to go somewhere. And so you decide where it goes, how it goes, and as quickly and efficiently as possible. So, why is estate planning important? Number one, we're all going to die. Okay. And something needs to happen at your death. Your things need to go somewhere. And like I will say a bazillion times, if you don't plan, there is a plan for you, and it is not a great plan. It was written by lawyers to keep the courts busy and to help lawyers make money. All right. That's the fact. Um, this is your lifetime savings. I know there's a lot of things you can download, you can do things by yourself, but there's some things I'm all for you doing yourself. There are YouTube videos on how to fix a faucet and how to repair furniture or whatever. This is your lifetime savings. This is something that you really honestly should have a professional do for you and do it correctly, because this is what you have worked for your entire life and you want it to be done correctly. I know it sounds self-serving, but doing this yourself is just not what you want to do. You need a professional who truly understands estate planning, and we would love to do that for you. This is dealing with your family. Okay. You know your family better than anyone else. You know things that need to be avoided or taken care of or paid particular attention to. This gives you the opportunity to do that. As an elder law attorney, I see people, you will spend some time incapacitated unless you just die suddenly. You're in a car wreck and you die suddenly, or you just drop dead. Everyone else is going to spend from a few hours to a few days to a few months to years being incapacitated. And if you don't plan for this beforehand, you're going to court. And you'll see as I go through this and all of my videos, I don't want you to go to court. I don't want to dress up, put on a suit, and have to go to court. It is not in your best interest. And I'm going to give you a ton of suggestions and ways to not go to court. I know it sounds strange for a lawyer to say, don't go to court, but it's not in your best interest. Okay. And incapacity is one of those situations that if you don't plan ahead and you become incapacitated, we have to go to court. This is your legacy. This is what you have worked for your entire life, not just the things, but sometimes the morals and the ideas and the ideals that you have for your family, we can put those in legal documents. We can make sure this is taken care of for them. Also, if you are charitably inclined, there are some really cool things we can do, and that is not going to happen under that statutory law that I told you is out there waiting if you don't do something different. That statutory law is not going to take care of charities. You have to do that yourself. Estate planning is the perfect time to do that. And privacy. Okay. Estate planning, if you don't go to court, is private. We can make sure that everything happens outside of court, sitting at our conference table or your dining room table, basically, to make sure your stuff goes where you want it to go without court, which means it is private. No one else knows except the people involved. I love this. I think he said it. It's the internet. You never know for sure. But anyway, whoever said it, this is a great phrase. Wealth is not his that has it, but his that enjoys it. Okay. People have money. A lot of people have money, and some people have a lot, and some people have a little. But those who enjoy it, that is true wealth. That is enjoying life and enjoying it. And I want you to be able to enjoy your stuff, but also make sure that your kids enjoy as much as we can possibly get to them, or charities, or whomever. Okay. All right. The key components of estate planning are: everybody's heard about a will. August is National Will Month, drives me crazy. I am not a huge fan of wills because a will is a legal document that tells the court what to do with your stuff as you go through probate. We don't want you to go through probate. All right. And so if you don't have minor children, your sole estate planning tool should not be a will. Okay. I know, heresy, just absolutely no one ever says this. Viewing this in Arkansas, you definitely don't want to go through probate, and a lot of states are that way. Okay, you don't want to go through probate, and if you will listen to me, I will help you not go through probate. And I'll spend some more time on this in just a second. The other key component is possibly a trust. Not everybody needs a trust, and that's another thing that surprises people. Yes, I'm an attorney. Yes, I'm an estate planning and elder law attorney, but I will tell you there are a lot of situations that you can avoid probate without a trust. Okay, I'll go through that in just a second. And we're not just talking about death and dying. We're talking about during your lifetime to make sure things are taken care of. And that's where the power of attorney comes in: power of attorney for finance, power of attorney for healthcare, to make sure that if you can't make decisions, someone else out there can make those decisions for you. And then finally, healthcare directives. And like I said, I'll do a full video on each of these. I just want to touch this real quick, but I do want to spend some time on wills. Everybody's just has so many misconceptions about wills. It is a legal document, and it seems very, it's like you go to this lawyer and they draw up this legal document saying my house goes here and the money goes here and everything's taken care of. Yay. You sign it, it's witnessed, it's notarized, it's done. And you think, okay, when I die, my house goes to the kids. The money goes to this charity, whatever. That is incorrect. Okay. It will happen, but it doesn't just happen. A will is what tells the judge what to do with your stuff as you go through probate. All right. You don't want to go through probate. And I say this all the time, that if you don't have minor children and an attorney told you that your sole estate planning tool should be a will, you honestly need a second opinion. Okay. Because you don't want to go through probate. It is asset distribution, but it's going through court. An executor has to be appointed. Your will is not a valid document until a judge says it is, and that is in the process of probate. Now, I did say if you don't have minor children. If you do have minor children, you will have to go through probate. Your estate will go through probate because a judge has to appoint who's going to finish raising your children until they turn 18. And so, therefore, at least that component has to go to court. But if we do this correctly, if you do have minor children, we can still make sure that your assets don't have to go through probate. The only thing that the probate court needs to do is decide who's going to raise your kids, and we have documents in place to tell the judge who you want. Okay. Wills can be revoked. Wills do need to be updated periodically, but my goal is you don't do a will if you don't have minor children. Okay. Probate is expensive, it's time consuming, and it is public knowledge. I'll do a whole video on that later. So, what goes through probate? Okay, the will affects those things that go through probate. What goes through probate is anything that is stuck in a deceased person's name. Okay, whatever you own, if it is stuck at the time of your death, your house is just in your name, boom, you die, it's stuck. You have a bank account just in your name, you die, boom, it's stuck. So, one of the great ways to avoid probate, and one thing you can do until you come see us and make sure this is absolutely what you need to do, is make sure that all of your bank accounts have payable on death beneficiaries. You go to the bank, you tell them, I want this to be payable on death to this person or these people, and the bank will draw up some paperwork and do that. And so now at your death, that bank account goes to those people. Boom. Probate's avoided. Easy peasy. Okay. There is a deed that you can do on the house. And that's where I'm like, you really do need to come see us and let us talk about the house and figure out exactly what needs to be done. And we will talk about if you need a trust, but you will tell me if you need a trust, and that's a different video that I'll go over. I just want to introduce you to these concepts and just know that a will, unless you have minor children, is not a good idea, and a trust sometimes is the right option. But in our office, a lot of people leave our office avoiding probate without doing a trust, and not all lawyers can say that. Okay. So, trust is a legal arrangement that allows an individual or entity to transfer the ownership of assets to a trustee. Okay. You transfer assets to the trustee of the trust. The trust now owns it, so therefore it's not stuck in your name. And at your death, it will do what needs to be done. It's also nice that a trust will do things prior to death and help control things once you become incapacitated. Okay. So we'll spend a whole lot of time talking about that. I think as an elder law attorney, not just estate planning, but as an elder law attorney, I think the most important document you can do is a power of attorney for finances and a power of attorney for healthcare. Now, some very common issues with that. Power of attorney, a general power of attorney, it grants broad authority to an agent, a person that you choose to be able to handle your affairs. If you're married, most times people choose their spouse to be their agent. Well, Todd, if we're married and our names are on everything, why and they're my spouse, why do they need to be my agent? Well, there are some things that require your signature to move. Two things primarily: your IRA 401k that is just in your name, it's not in co-names, and your home. For us to get rid of your home, we need your signature. And your spouse can't do that for you unless there's a legal document saying so, and that legal document is a power of attorney. Okay, so it is crucial that everyone over the age of 18 have a power of attorney. If you come into my office, we're going to be very adamant that you do powers of attorney just because everyone needs it. That's not legal advice, it's just a fact that everyone needs a power of attorney. A durable power of attorney is important because a general not durable power of attorney is no longer effective once you become incapacitated. Well, that's dumb, because that's when we need it most, is once you become incapacitated. We need your agent to jump in and be able to do things for you. So we always do durable powers of attorney. Now, we can do a limited power of attorney if you want someone to do a very specific job for a specific length of time. You can do a very limited power of attorney, but those are for unique situations. You're going to be gone on a trip for 2 months, and you want someone to be able to handle things for you temporarily for 2 months. We can do that. But you do need just a general, not limited, all encompassing power of attorney to let someone be able to do things for you. Okay. I don't like springing powers of attorney. A springing power of attorney means it springs to life at some point in the future, typically once you become incapacitated. That sounds great when you first talk about it, but it's not a good idea. And again, I'll do a whole video just on that. And you also need to do a healthcare power of attorney that allows someone to make healthcare decisions for you. So there's financial and there's healthcare. All right, healthcare directives. A living will. I don't like the way that sounds just because everybody confuses it with your last will and testament, but you do need a living will or advanced directives that says, in this situation, when I am irreversible and terminal, I'm not going to live very long, and I can no longer make decisions. Here's what I want someone to not do to me: CPR, respirators, feeding tubes, IVs, surgeries, all kinds. There's a whole list of things you can go through to say, don't do this to me when I am in that situation. Okay. Um, the other thing is, like we just talked about, power of attorney for healthcare. At any point, if you're temporarily or permanently unable to make healthcare decisions, this document allows someone to make those decisions for you. I highly recommend you have personalized planning. And this is honestly not something that you can do by yourself. There are so many things out there that you've never even thought about, that you've never been through. And that's why you hire a professional like us to say, hey, you've been through this a bunch of times. Help me avoid some potholes or landmines out there that we maybe step into. I tell you, lawyers make a lot of money cleaning up messes that people do by themselves. One of my favorite phrases that I've recently come up with in my office is save a buck, lose a fortune. It is so easy for you to cut corners and do this yourself. And I know it sounds purely self serving for you to say, oh, don't do it yourself, come see me. I'm just telling you, I have seen it so many times that people think they know what they're doing, think they're making right decisions, and they don't. Okay. Um, there's just so many landmines out there. Please come see us. I promise you, our fee will be a very small percentage of what we will save you in fees, expenses, heartache, and just giving you peace of mind to know I know this is done correctly. So you need to look at your current net worth. You'll see all the way up through this whole time, I've not talked about how much assets you have. Doing estate planning is not based on you having enough assets. If you own anything, you need to do estate planning, even if it's just a car. If you're renting your house and you own a car, you still have to decide what to do with it. The fact is, there's one form, a free form you can download off the internet and make sure that's taken care of. And if that's absolutely all that you need, we'll give you that form and you don't owe us anything. Okay. But chances are you have more than a car. You have some bank accounts and different things, and we can make sure those will go as efficiently as possible and do exactly what you want. Okay. We will help you kind of think about, or if you have questions about projected retirement expenses, that is part of estate planning. That is saying, am I going to have enough money? How can I deal with this? Can I make what I have now do better? And I am a licensed financial advisor, so I can help you figure that out. But I have people in my office who do a really good job at that. Family obligations and dynamics. Okay. There's a lot of family dynamics out there that estate planning can help figure out and take care of. And then, like I said, a lot of people I am seeing nowadays have charitable goals. They want to leave some money to charity, and that will not happen unless you specifically plan for it. All right. Here's the process of how this should happen. Number one, hopefully, this video will encourage you to discuss your personal circumstances and goals with your partner or even yourself. Sit down and just write down, what do I want to happen? Review your existing documents. If your existing documents are more than 10 years old, you really should have them looked at. And I would be glad to do that. You can switch attorneys. If some other attorney did these in the past, you don't have to go back to them. I would love to help you look at these and make sure they are done correctly and updated for your specific situations. Okay. Then develop a plan. Okay. A comprehensive plan. And you should do some of that on your own, but come in to see us and we will help you figure out that plan and figure out exactly what needs to be done. Next, we will draft the legally binding documents. And then we will help you. Our office will help you do that asset transfer, help make sure that everything we recommend that you do actually gets done. So many times people leave the lawyer's office saying, okay, I have this fantastic trust. It says everything I need it to say, but if you don't put anything in the trust does nothing. Okay. And I've seen a lot of people have a beautiful trust that did nothing and they still went to probate because they didn't fund the trust. We will help you fund the trust. And then finally, we will ensure that everything obviously meets state law and meets your goals and it's done correctly. And we stand behind our work. All right. So that's Generations Legal Group, Estate Planning 101. I would love for you to come see us. Our team is me, Lauren, Doug, Sarah, Pearl, Trisha. Ian's my financial guy. He doesn't work for me, he works with me. Completely different business, but we can help you take care of whatever needs to be done. Please give us a call, 479-601-4119. And please subscribe, please like, and that way you'll be notified when I do these every single week. And again, if there's any questions, call the office, tell them, hey, I want Todd to do a video on this or that, or drop the questions down below in the comments. Would love to work with you. Let us know, 479-601-4119. Thanks.